bones.
Oh my goodness. So after we were given this wonderful task of taking on strategic prayer, we were discussing one evening the passage in Ezekiel 37. And as we were reading through, I started looking at that there's a pattern in Ezekiel 37 about the dry bones coming to life and how the Father says that He's going to do this. And so Tommy and I were talking about it. We were actually up till 2 o'clock in the morning talking about this. And he made a suggestion about
The bones, I just was
physical.
reminded that the skeleton in our body is connected to a tree, in Scripture. And a tree, if you look into the Hebrew of a tree, you find the word counsel. And so that just sort of spurred on, what is it about the bones, Because we saw in Ezekiel 37 how it starts with dry bones, and then there's sinew and skin that's added to that. And so we pulled out an anatomy book and just started looking at anatomy, and all of these different concepts came out of it, and we got excited about it. And
well, what we saw was that just like the human anatomy, of course, in the Scriptures, Yahweh says that that a rattling and a shaking is going to take place first. And we felt like that for a while now, there have been literal shofars going off all over the world that are calling out to the dry bones, and there's a rattling and a shaking going on, and people are hearing it. The next thing that it says is He's going to start gathering those bones together. And as the bones come together, in order to bring them together, the sinew has to be attached to them. So, as I'm reading it, I said, okay, so the rattling and shaking, and they're gonna hear, and then the sinew, and then the muscle, and then the skin. And then this vast army is going to be raised, and the breath of Yahweh is going to be breathed into them. So we get out the anatomy, and we start looking at it. And do you understand, in just our human anatomy, that is exactly what it looks like. The bones are the foundation of our body. Without the bones being the foundation, there is no structure. The sinew then is the thing that actually, according to the anatomy book, brings the bones together and connects them. Then, after that, then the muscle that is on our human body is over the sinew, and that connects them even more. And then the skin, which is what the largest organ in our body that breathes, goes on top of it, and then the breath of the Creator is what brought us to life. And so we got really excited about that, and we started
seeing scriptures all about bones
everywhere.
And I woke up one morning and I went to Proverbs, and it was quite amazing. Proverbs chapter 3, a very familiar verse that we all know, and I saw it as a group verse that connects all of us. Generally, when we read this verse, it's to the individual, or we take it that way anyway, and it's trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Well, I started looking at it like trust. Let's all of us trust in our heart and lean not to our understanding. And you go down a couple more verses, and at the end, I believe it says, it talks about health to our bones. So we got really excited about that, and we just saw the bones also as a foundation. And coming here and with this
the
plenary committee and this gathering is kind of like starting a foundation and building a foundation. So we were looking at how the bones were connected with that in Scripture, because like she said, this is all about looking at what the Scripture is saying and Him directing us. And so the bones play a vital role in that, we think. And we were just seeing a lot of truth in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So